It is 7 o'clock, Tuesday, June 30th, 2026. Is that loud? Yeah. Sound loud.
Booming.
And we'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with roll call to my left.
Marla Canfield, council member.
Tim Brunson, City Council Member.
Jody O'Katy, City Council Member.
Ronnie Price, Mayor.
Tim Berry, City Council Member.
Colin Gallagher, City Council Member.
Ben Graver, Police Captain.
Rick Lance, Director of Public Works and Utilities.
Andy Seville, Assistant Fire Chief.
Dana Engstrom, City Clerk.
Kendra Stacy, City Attorney.
Les Mangus, Director of Community Development.
Jolene Graham, Assistant City Administrator. Jennifer McCausland, City Administrator.
All right, at this time, Dennis Daughtery is going to lead us in invocation. 2 times in a row.
It's a real struggle, brother. I consider it a pleasure to be here and an honor. So thank you.
Thank you.
So let's pray. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for this great city and the great leadership, and what you're doing is really unbelievable. So Lord, I pray that you would be with each and every one that's represented tonight, that first of all, there would be unity, and that we could learn to lead out of our obedience to you. So we thank you. Thank you that we have the great privilege of prayer in public in this great country. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
At this time, I will ask you to join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, man. All right, at this time, I will open the floor for a public forum. Got 3 minutes. We already got a taker.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Lori Cullum. I'm the President and CEO of the Andover Area Chamber of Commerce, 1034 North Andover Road, Suite 300, and a proud resident of Andover, Kansas, 120 South Pink Court. I'm here tonight in support of LifeSpring recovery of Andover zoning requests that will come before you on July 14th. Through my role at the Chamber, I have the opportunity to meet organizations that are considering investing in our community. What has stood out to me about LifeSpring recovery is they have never approached Andover as simply a place to do business. From the beginning, they've sought to become part of the community. Before opening their doors, they sought opportunities to connect, engage, and contribute. They joined the Chamber, began building relationships, and demonstrated a genuine desire to be active members of our community. Businesses and organizations that strengthen communities do more than occupy a building. They hire local residents, support local businesses, participate in community events, and invest in the place they call home. LifeSpring Recovery has shown every indication that they intend to do exactly that. As I've learned more about their organization, I've also come to understand the respect they have earned within the recovery community and the thoughtful approach they take when choosing locations and building partnerships. I understand that questions about public safety, community resources, and long-term community impact are part of the council's responsibility in evaluating any proposal. And those questions deserve thoughtful consideration. But what I can speak to is the organization itself. What gives me confidence is the professionalism, intentionality, and community-minded approach LifeSpring Recovery has demonstrated from the very beginning. They've approached Andover not simply as a place to operate, but a community they want to invest in. As a resident, I'm incredibly proud of Andover. I'm proud of our schools, our businesses, our neighborhoods, and the way our community comes together to support one another. But the days that challenge me are the days when assumptions that people or organizations overshadow our willingness to learn, listen, and evaluate them based on their character, actions, and contributions to this community. I want Andover to be known as a community that asks thoughtful questions, carefully considers opportunities, and welcomes organizations that are committed to making our city stronger. I want us to evaluate organizations based on who they are, how they operate, and the value they bring, not assumptions about the people they serve. LifeSpring Recovery is a licensed inpatient healthcare facility that provides medically supervised detox and residential treatment for adults who meet specific medical and clinical criteria. It's not a correctional facility, shelter, methadone clinic, walk-in treatment center, or emergency drop-off location. The majority of those they will serve are adults who are privately insured or privately paying that have made the decision to seek treatment in a structured, professionally staffed environment. Because this inpatient healthcare
Your
model,
time has expired.
just one last thing, think of your neighbors. Think of their children. Think of the drug problem we have in our schools when you make this decision. Thank you for your time.
Excuse me, thank you. Anyone else? Nobody? All right, public forum's closed. Acceptance of the agenda.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
move
Actually,
that we
can I
accept-
interrupt 1 second? We are waiting on somebody to arrive for item 9. So if I could just propose a reorder and move item 9 last on your agenda.
Mr. Mayor, I move to accept the agenda with item 9 being pushed to item, I guess, 13, and everything keeps moving up.
Okay,
Second.
all in favor? Say yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Tim. All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0. All right, acceptance of the agenda. We can still do that, right?
We just did.
Okay. Milestone Awards. And Andy is our first up. How you doing, sir? Doing good.
I found it.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight, I have the great pleasure of recognizing firefighter Skylar Akins for 5 years of service with the Andover Fire Rescue. Skylar, if you want to come on up. So one of my favorite stories that I just heard about recently, actually, Skylar decided at a very young age that he wanted to be a firefighter. He was with his parents watching the Andover Days Parade, and the fire trucks went by, and that's kind of when he decided that that's what he wanted to do. So, so there he is a couple of years ago. But so now you're here.
Yeah.
So 5 years ago, Skylar got the chance to live out his childhood dream and joined our department. If you ask the people that he works with, they'll tell you that Skylar is dependable, detail-oriented, and always brings a positive attitude to work. He has a good sense of humor, takes pride in doing things the right way, and he's always someone you can count on. Over the last 5 years, he's taken some important responsibility, like he serves on our Scott SCBA as one of our Scott SCBA technicians, making sure the equipment we depend on daily is working properly. He serves as our safety coordinator and inspector, keeping an eye on the little things that help keep us all safe, including our garage doors. Skylar is a great ambassador for our department. Whether it's helping with muscular dystrophy, boot drive, teaching safety in our schools, doing station tours, handing out firefighter stickers to kids, he always represents Andover Fire Rescue well. He understands that serving the community is a lot more than just responding to emergencies. He's continued to invest in himself, earning an associate's degree in fire science, and completing numerous other certifications to become a better firefighter. So Skylar, thank you so much for your professionalism, dedication, positive attitude, and everything you bring to our department. We're so glad to have you here. We look forward to what the future brings for you. So congratulations on this milestone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You give a speech?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right. This time, Rick Landers is gonna step up.
15 minutes out. I thought they were last on.
Mr. Mayor and Council, it's always a pleasure to be up here and talk about these milestone awards. It's kind of humbling when you see some of our employees and how much service tenure we have here. It's kind of amazing. I also learned something about Richard recently. He was also at the GAD parade, and he watched the fire trucks go by as a young kid. And then he watched the horses go by and the mess they left. And then he watched the street sweeper go by and clean it up. And he said, I want to be a street employee. So, all seriousness, no. So Richard came to us with a pretty diverse background, including experience with the neighboring city and some township. It didn't take long to realize that we had found someone that could fix about anything. Richard is incredibly mechanically inclined, and he saved the city countless dollars by repairing equipment in-house rather than sending it out for service. I forgot, Richard, you get to go and stand up here while I read this. So he's always willing to jump in, troubleshoot a problem, and find a solution that is both quick and cost effective. His skills are especially valuable during winter storms. When our trucks are running nearly 24 hours a day in freezing temperatures, as you can imagine, after about 23 hours of nonstop running and plowing, the equipment sometimes decides it had enough. It's like the trucks kind of develop an attitude. The good news is that Richard seems to speak fluent dump truck. More often than not, he's the one getting equipment back in line and back out on the road, helping our crews keep our streets safe for our traveling public. Richard's talents don't stop and shop. His years of experience, both here in Andover and his previous employers, showed in everything from asphalt work to all the other various tasks our street department takes on throughout the year. He's always willing to share his knowledge, answer questions, and help train new employees. Having someone that kind of experience who is also willing to teach others is invaluable. If something breaks, he doesn't just tell you why it can't be fixed. He starts figuring out how to fix it. Sometimes the duct tape doesn't work. He will then reach for the correct tool to do it. Richard, thank you for your dedication, your expertise, and your pride you take in your work. We truly appreciate everything you've done for the city of Andover, and thank you. You want to have a speech?
Oh, no, I'm good.
You get a check? All right, onward and upward. Consent agenda. 8-1 through 8-8. Anyone?
Mr. Mayor,
Yeah.
I move that we approve the consent agenda 8.1 through 8.8 as presented.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. I said it wrong the first time. And we are skipping a line here and going straight to 10-1 Heritage Square amendments. And sorry, I'm having folks, Jenny's going to start us out.
Mr. Mayor and Council, before you tonight are amendments to the development agreements for the Heritage TIF District, both Area 1 and Area 2. I want to give a little bit of history. I know the governing body is familiar with this history, but for those who might be watching or in our audience tonight, this topic first came up in your September of 2025 workshop. And as you all likely recall, the way that a TIF district works is the property taxes paid within the district that is established. Those funds are by and large diverted. Instead of going to the jurisdictions that are typically assessing those taxes, they're going to go to the TIF fund, which is managed by the city. The one exception to that is there's about 20 some mills that are state mandated that continue to roll to the schools because they are not available to be included in a TIF district. The rest of those funds come to the city and we use those funds to make the debt payments. Those debt payments cover all of the public infrastructure that you see out in the Heritage District. So everything from the Heritage Man sculpture to paving to wastewater, water lines, all the things you can't see are paid for with those debt. Those debt payments are paid with that increment from the taxes. The letters or development agreements between the development team and the city of Andover indicated that the first draw on a letter of credit, which I'm going to explain what that means here in just a minute, that could occur in 2025, meaning should the increment, the increase in taxes from that area not be enough, not be sufficient to cover the debt payment in a given year, then we could do what we call a letter of credit draw. And basically a letter of credit is like a credit card, if you will, or a line of credit. It's as the name would insinuate. The first year, like I said, development agreements would have allowed us to make that draw was 2025, and we did have to make a draw. Unfortunately, the projections did not meet what we hoped, and so we needed to make a draw. Because the projections anticipated the district would pay for itself through this increment starting in 2023, there was no provision in the development agreement for a way to pay back the developers through future revenues. In September, the development team came to you at your workshop and asked if we could make an amendment that would allow for this. Your staff and your legal team has worked hard, as well as the legal team representing the Heritage Development team, to ensure that the city's interests remain protected, but that we can make an accommodation that in future years, when enough tax revenue has come in that can cover the now $2.2 million annual debt payment, that we could give excess, anything over, back the developers. There's a couple qualifications in there to, again, protect the interests of the city. The city has done some advancing of funds for the debt, so that would be repaid first. If the city or the developers together decide they want to do a future improvement and pay for it out of these funds, then that would be paid for first. And I'm just going to throw a fun example out there. If there's a desire to buy a really big Christmas tree and the development team and the city says, yes, that's a good use of TIF funds, then we could do something like that in the future, but it would be mutually agreed upon. And then we would reimburse the developers for any of the draws or payments that they made up to that date. The Area 1, the only difference in the two amendments is that Area 1, the letter of credit coverage must equal at least 22% of the outstanding principal for project Area 1, and that Area 2 is at the 35%, which is the same as your current subdivision policy. The reason you couldn't mirror that in both areas is because Area 1 never required 35% of the principal for your letter of credit requirement. So it seemed like it didn't make sense to have a higher threshold now that we're actually making an accommodation to pay back. I believe that addresses the items I wanted to cover. I'm very happy to answer questions, and both Dr. Leese and Jerry Jones from the development team are present tonight if you should have any questions. And as luck would have it, this agenda also has some bond items. So your financial advisor, Clayton Kelly from Piper Sandler, is also in the audience. So if you have any questions for any of those folks or myself, be happy to take them.
Anyone? Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve the second amendment to the developers agreement between Lease Properties LLC, Heritage Landing LLC, Heritage Landing 2 LLC, Perfection Signature Properties LLC, and the City of Andover, Kansas for development of the Heritage Addition Area 1 and Heritage Development Tax Increment Financial District Area 1, and to be authorized for the mayor to sign.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
I have a question, Mr. Mayor. Jenny, I thought the TIF funds were primarily used to also maintain the property as well. Is that not correct?
The primary function of the TIF district is to pay off your infrastructure, and that's a significant cost. Like I said, it's $2.2 million per year through 2039.
Correct.
2040, I believe it drops back down to about half of that. So I don't know that I would have expected
Okay.
funds for maintenance. Perhaps maybe the CID is what you're
Maybe it's the
thinking about?
CID I'm thinking of.
So the
Okay, my
CID,
apologies.
Community Improvement District, for those watching, that is a additional 2-cent sales tax, and that does go back to the developer for the purpose of maintaining the
Okay,
district, yes.
thank you.
Any other questions? All in favor, yes?
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. 10-2 Heritage Square Project Area 2, second amended development agreement. Again, this will be Jenny speaking about it.
I really don't have anything to add, so
All right.
unless you have questions, happy to address them.
Any questions?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to approve the second amendment to the development agreement between Heritage Landing LLC, Heritage Landing 2 LLC, Heritage Square Andover LLC, and the City of Andover, Kansas for development of the Heritage Addition Area 2 and Heritage Development Tax Increment Financing District Area 2, and authorize the mayor to sign.
Second.
Any further questions or comments? I drew a blank. All in favor say yes.
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 All opposed, no. Motion carries 6-0, 5-0, I'm sorry. Can we back up at this time, or we want to just carry on to the end, or?
I would probably just move forward as you
Okay.
accepted it and do that at the
All
end, I
right.
think is what I would do.
2026 Series A Bond Sale Award Series 2026A, and Jolene is going to speak to us about this.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I'm actually very pleased to bring to the podium Clayton Kelly from Piper Sandler, your financial advisor, to speak to you on this.
He looks way different not being in a little screen.
Mayor and City Council, thanks for allowing me to speak tonight. Again, my name is Clayton Kelly with Piper Sandler, financial advisor for the city. This morning, the city took bids for the financing and securing the financing for several special assessment projects within the city. Those included the subdivisions of Meadowbrook 4th Edition, Tuscany 5th Edition, Prairie Creek 7th Edition, Green Valley Greens 11th Edition, Post East Patch Edition, and the Redbud Trail Edition. There are 3 action items, all associated with really the same thing tonight. The first one is just an acceptance or a bid award of the winning bid. The second is a ordinance that essentially allowed us to move forward with the issuance of the financing. And the third one is a resolution related to the financing that just has all the details of the final interest rates and the terms of the finance. But very pleased to let you know that during the sale this morning, the city received 8 bids on the financing. Kind of going into this sale, our projection and what we had been running preliminarily for the city was around 4.5% for an interest rate. We have seen an improvement in interest rates for bond financings the last couple of weeks. And happy to share that the winning bid was from BOK Financial at a 3.79%. And just kind of to give you some context on the competitiveness of that sale, if you look at the second place bid from Robert Baird, they were at 3.80%. So kind of right on top of each other there, within 0.01% of each other. In addition, 7 of the 8 bids came in less than 4%. So really good result, really high demand for the city in this financing. What we like to see. And then in addition to that, putting some context into the 4.5% versus the 3.79, that's equivalent to about $500,000 of interest cost savings So just to give you some dollars to those percentages as well. But that's pretty much the summary of what I wanted to share tonight in regards to the bid and the bid awards. Closing for the financing of when funds would be received is July 22nd. So there's just some time between now and when we would actually have funds available. But yeah, I'm happy to take any questions that you do have. Just a reminder, there is kind of those 3 action items related to this, and they're all really related to the same thing. So I'm happy to take any questions that you do have. One more thing I want to say is just the credit rating of the city. That goes a long way too. And I think the number of bids that were received, city staff does a really good job. That's probably one of the biggest kind of legwork items of securing a financing and establishing or an affirmation of that credit rating. And your AA- credit rating is a very good rating to have. So you should be very proud of that rating, and it does have a big impact on the number of bidders who are willing to bid on your types of financing as well as your final interest rate. So I wanted to share that as well.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Any questions?
Mr. Mayor, if I may. Mr. Kelly, were you surprised that we got as many bids as we did? I mean, you shared that obviously very competitive at the low end, which is where we like it to be.
Yep.
But that many bids was also surprising.
I would say receiving 8 bids in total, yes. The city, typically you're in that kind of 5 to 6 amount of bids received. There's been a little bit lower supply in terms of municipal issuance in Kansas the last week or two. So I think that also plays into it. The supply and demand, you have banks that maybe have a few weeks of limited opportunities to purchase bonds in Kansas, and they recognized the opportunity this morning. So you timed it well in terms of just from a supply standpoint too.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we award the purchase of the GO Series A 2026 bonds in the amount of $4,915,000 to BOK Financial Securities, Inc. at the net interest cost of $2,384,673.42.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. 11-2, bond sale GOB Series A 2026 ordinance. Again, Jolene. He's gonna-
Yes, just to build upon what Clayton discussed with you, this is the second of the 3 action items to complete this bond sale. And I would defer any questions to our bond attorney, Kendra Stacy with Spencer Fane.
Mayor had to step out for a second. Or can we keep?
You could call for a motion as president.
I call for a motion.
Mr. President, I move to adopt the ordinance authorizing issuance of Series A 2026 general obligation bonds of the city of Andover, Kansas.
Second.
We have a first and second. Do we have any questions or discussion? Seeing none. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, say no. Motion passes. Mr. Mayor, it's your turn now.
5-0. Thank you. I appreciate that. Cup of run dry. 11-3, it went way too fast. 11-3, bond sale GOB Series A 2026 resolution. And Jolene again will.
This is the third
Took
action.
time, could you? You had to make me look bad, right?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move we approve the resolution describing the form and details of Series A 2026 general obligation bonds of the city of Andover, Kansas.
Any further questions or discussion?
Just want to say, Clayton, thank you for being here. It is nice
Yes.
to see people in person.
Yeah.
I know it was a long way to go for that 20 minutes.
No, absolutely. Happy to. And I agree with you. I love being in person versus over Zoom anyway. So great to
great
see
option,
the
but
result
yeah.
and to see you all as well.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, one more comment. I do recognize the legwork that goes into these, and timing the market is always tough. So appreciate all the staff's contribution to timing it well.
And we appreciate your comments about the staff. We think they're pretty good. Thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, sir.
I was gonna say JT's not here. You can say whatever you want.
How about JT? Let's all talk about JT. Let's do that. All right.
He's in Boston. He's probably watching.
12-1 wastewater treatment plant security installation. And Rick is gonna enlighten us on this subject.
Mr. Mayor and Council, because we are talking about security measures around the waste treatment plant, we'll go into a lot of detail on the types of equipment and measures being deployed. However, I will say that while this seems and is a substantial number, this is a very large site and there's a lot of things to cover, including fire detection is included in this. So it's well within line of the industry standard, and it's actually probably a little below the industry standard. I would like to thank IT for, as we involved them in this, along this process, they did step forward with a piece of equipment that we could divert over to help with lowering the cost by about $30,000. So that was nice to see IT step up and assist us in that manner. This is using Pinnacle Fire and Automation, which is currently the vendor and the supplier of all of our security systems now and does the maintenance on it all. So it ties in well in regards to integrating in with everything else we have. I'd be happy to stand for any questions if you have any.
Mr. Mayor, I have one. Rick, when they designed the buildings, did they accommodate? I mean, we don't have to change it. I mean, the buildings aren't even built yet per se, but I mean.
That's a very good question. Pinnacle Fire put a lot of time in their own on the hopes that I guess they would get this agreement, because during the design, we worked with them and laid out to have things in place, conduits and stuff like that. So there wasn't a lot of rework in that. There's always some when this happens. It doesn't matter how well thought out it is. But
We're not running a conduit 300 feet because we forgot about it or.
no, that is part of the original contract and was put in the original contract with the supplier. The reason we didn't put this part in there is they're just going to tack 15% on top. I don't blame the general contractor for doing that, but we felt like that was not necessary in this case.
Anyone else? Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we authorize the mayor to sign an agreement with Pinnacle Fire and Automation LLC, Wichita, Kansas, for the amount not to exceed $421,895 for the fire alarm system, access control system, intrusion system, and surveillance system for the wastewater treatment plant.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion?
I do want to say this sounds, for everybody, this sounds like a lot of money. I mean, it's almost $500,000, but the wastewater site is what, 47 million, somewhere give or take, depending on when everything's done. And, between fire control, access control, cameras, I mean, this is definitely needed. I like how you put in your memo, Rick. It wasn't even, 1% of it. So as a citizen, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a gosh darn a lot of money, but it's needed. So.
A mile off the beaten trail.
Yeah.
It's good. There's many reasons for it. Thank you for pointing that out, Mr.
And I
Bear.
cleaned my language up too. So.
I would also comment, I guess, just so she brought that up, that we worked with him to lower the number a little bit. There were some things we saw that could be changed and modified and stuff. So this has been ongoing for probably a couple months, but it's to the point to where we need to get across the line so we can get it in place. It's timing now to start getting the parts here and doing some things.
All right. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. 13-1, new tandem dump truck with snowplow and spreader. And Rick or Vern gonna talk?
I guess I'll handle this one, and if you stump me with a question, we'll let Vern take it. On this piece of equipment, we mentioned it last night, this is the last of the pieces of equipment that we identified. I think it was 8 years ago. I should have looked that up when we kind of inventoried everything we had and we started planning out to modernizing our equipment a little bit. These tandem dump trucks are pretty important during winter storms, but we use them year round for hauling materials and various work. It also comes in very handy in storm repairs and stuff like that. So it's pretty important piece of equipment for us. When we were looking at going out for bid for a new piece of equipment, we did reach out to one of the vendors and found out through them when we were talking to them about who to send the email to make sure we had a valid email. They were like, hey, we had the state contract this year. We actually ordered one. Nobody picked it up or whatever. I'm not exactly sure how they had long, but they had an extra one, which is on hand. And the dollar amount was lower than what we paid for one last year. One might ask, well, did you overpay the year before? There was some differences in the previous years, and the reason we didn't use state contracts in the past was because they had used a different controller system in their dump trucks, and we weren't very impressed with that controller, and we didn't want to use that controller, so we went with a different contract. However, the state has modified back to the type of controllers that we like for our spreaders and stuff. So we're trying to stay with a similar controller for our dump trucks, so the crews know how to run it when they get in. And also we just feel like it's a better controller system. So we're very pleased with this pricing. It's a very good price. It's also on hand. We all know if it's $279,412 now, if we wait and try to jump on the state contract next year, it's not going to be that price. It's going to be more, and it's going to take 10 to 11 months. I don't know why. Now it's upfitting. Used to be the chassis. Used to be what took so long to get. Now you get the chassis pretty quick, and it's all the upfitting now is the delay in that. But it's a 10 months to a year. So this one's actually in Wichita, ready to go. I think they said we could probably have it in a week after or less after we get award on this. It is money saved up in our transfers to our street equipment reserve fund. We talked about this a little bit through the budgeting. We save for these over time, and this was just in the process and ready to go. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them. Or if you stump me, I'll throw Vern under the bus or under the dump truck. How's that?
I do have one question, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Is it orange?
No.
Okay, thank you. That's all I wanted.
I was worried about that myself,
Well,
man.
you know, it's a state V. You said it was a state contract. I'm like, is it bright orange?
Oh, my goodness.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
unless anybody else has any other questions, I motion to approve the purchase of the tandem dump truck with snowplow and spreader from Truck Center Companies in the amount of $279,412. Rick, you've spent a lot of money tonight.
Jody, second. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Now we'll back up. All right. 9-1 RHID Penner South public hearing, and Jolene is going to talk about that. Oh, there she is. Moved on.
Well, Mayor and council members, this is quite the culmination of many conversations that we've had about RHID and the Penner South property since your meeting on April 14th with your resolution of intent to consider establishing an RHID, to your workshop where you got to meet the developers on April 27th. And tonight we are here along with Marv and Dylan Schellenberg of Schellenberg Development Company to fulfill the state statute requirements for a formal presentation of the development plan and a public hearing. The Penner South property was annexed in 2023, but the development stalled because infrastructure barriers make the site significantly more expensive to develop. The city's proposed use of the Reinvestment Housing Incentive District, or RHID, aims to offset the costs of these barriers so that this development can compare on equal footing with other Andover developments. With RHID, as you can see in this graph, the costs are entirely self-funded by the incremental property taxes generated by new homes. No existing taxpayers pays more, and our conservative financial analysis shows that RHID will retire in year 8. The tool is designed so that growth pays for growth. Without RHID, this site that is roughly located a half-mile north of 21st Street on the east side of Andover Road stays filled as it is today. But with it, Andover gains 284 market rate entry-level housing units. And I'm going to pause here to let Marvin Dillon introduce themselves and their development company.
City Council, Mr. Mayor, first of all, I want to apologize for missing our spot.
That's right. It
We were
happens.
trying to close up some things actually for the closing on this property and thought we had an extra 15-minute buffer in there. And Les and Jolene, sorry to make you worry if we were going to show up. So very sorry about that. First, we appreciate the city of Andover working together with us on this project. Without the RHID program, it wouldn't be possible for us to do this project that's dealing in that $250,000 to $300,000 project. The success of the RHID program is dependent on how quick the project can be done. And how quick that project can get done is going to be dependent upon me. And what's important for you to know about, and I think it's important for you to know a little bit more about us and in our previous conversations, I think a lot of you have, but I just want to remind you of why we're here and why we think we're a great partner for this project. Schellenberg Development Company, we're a vertically integrated company. We're a family business. We've been in business now for 38 years. We have the ability to take it, restaurants go from farm to table. We go from farm ground to closing. We have the ability we have a residential development division, a commercial, we have our own construction company, we have our own property management company, and then we also own the REMAX, which is our marketing arm for our new home area. And so that enables us to, if we can do a lot of the things on our own, we can control a lot of the destiny of the operation. We also have a commercial where we can do fairly large projects. We're currently doing a project in downtown Wichita with the new Indigo Hotel. We do a lot of retail centers, kind of in the range of the 10,000 to 30,000 square foot retail centers. We also are involved with multifamily. We have a project called the Villas, and it's an age-restricted community that has clubhouse, swimming pool, tennis court, pickleball courts. It's for rent only, and so we get involved on that side of it as well. Some of our past developments, probably our more iconic ones is our Reflection Ridge development. It was a 690 home site community. We did Fox Ridge, which is another 390 home site community, and Hampton Lakes and Forest Lakes were other communities that we've done. Currently, we have the Coves, which is a community that has different price ranges in it, beginning in about 600,000 to close to 2 million. Arbor Creek is in that 350 to 550. And we have a new Villas project that's coming online. And then the two projects that we have now that's be very similar to the one that we're going to be doing here is Oakmont and Bluestem. Oakmont is in the May School District and Bluestem is in the Goddard School District. Districts are super important for it, and that's why we are here at Andover. We see that as a quality school district. We have partnered up with Liberty Homes, Eric Gilbert, and we've been working together for the last couple of years on this project. Our first one that we did for Liberty Homes was Oakmont, and it's been very successful. It was in the May School District. I think last year we had about 40 homes sold in that price range. Liberty Homes, our Blue Stem is our most newest one, and that's in the Goddard School District. And we just opened that up here this spring. And so that project's off to a good start as well. So we're very familiar with the product and with the combination of working together with Eric. He's been, what's nice about this product is when the people move in, it has irrigation, it's landscaped, it has all the appliances, it's sodded, and you have a nice complete home that's ready for the homeowner. And that's a big plus because a lot of times people can barely get in and then they can't get their yard and they can't get, and then it's just always kind of incomplete. And once we get going, I mean, he'll start 10 homes at one time. So it's not like one or two here. It's a pretty instant and it looks nice right off the bat. Any questions?
Anyone?
No questions in particular, but I'll share with the council here and with you, Mr. Schellenberg. I've seen these Liberty Homes coming up in my neck of the woods down in South Andover in the Winchester neighborhood, and have been impressed with the speed at which they bring homes up, get them all sodded. Already have, I think, 4 or 5 homeowners moved in, and probably 8 more to go. Half of them are sold, of the ones that are still in construction. So looks quality and is doing a good job of rounding out that particular neighborhood. So I look forward to what this might look like as well.
So I have a question, Mr. Mayor. What's the timeline? I mean, if we approve it tonight, I mean, we're talking there'll be homes there this time next year, or is it all based on whether or not, how fast the water pipe can get moved? And
we're in the process now already. I mean, we're working on the plat. Okay. And so we're hoping that we could have streets in the next 10 months.
Okay.
I think is kind of where we're shooting. And so, but we're already moving it along.
Awesome.
We're not waiting.
Do you have enough kids for that? I mean, you have enough family to help you do that?
We got enough I have enough horsepower.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you.
Just a little bit more, just to complete out the particulars of the district. You can see here where the water and sewer mains exist in the red boxes and how far they have to go to get to their site, which is outlined in the blue dashed line. Both Rural Water District 5 and Butler Rural Electric have significantly higher development costs than their counterparts, which are the City of Wichita and Evergy Electric here in Andover. Here you can see the proposed RHI is $2.88 million to offset those costs of water and sewer mains and also the Butler Rural Electric costs. And here on this chart, it shows 2 columns without RHID and the benefits with RHID. And the main takeaway is the difference between the red numbers in the left-hand column and the blue numbers in the right-hand column. And they show the impact of RHID on the cost of both the net developer costs, which directly translate into lower home costs, lower home prices, and also there is a small reduction in specials through RHID. This is a representation of a conservative build-out rate, which is much slower than what the Schellenbergs would ever want it to be. But in the case of a financial analysis, it is our due diligence to kind of show a worst-case scenario. So I'd like to note that at 8 years, it is not a full build-out of the entire housing development. Rather, it's just 155 total dwelling units, but it would end the RHID. There would still be a total of 284 total units to be built. And this chart shows with that build out rate, how the annual RHID tax increment is allocated across that 8-year build out rate. With the city's debt service payments shown in being covered in year 1 in the dark shaded blue and every year thereafter. And the lighter blue represents the reimbursement available back to the developer for those electrical costs. And yet with only 155 units built, as I mentioned, it shows that entire $2.88 million RHID being able to be retired with all debt and developer reimbursements paid off in 8 years. So this is a great financial feasibility analysis there, with 129 units still left to be built to come onto the tax rolls. And the RHID itself can last up to 25 years by state statute to pay off the costs. But this is showing that taxing jurisdictions for this property in Andover only forgo those taxes for 8 years. Now, this is the build out rate. I wanted to show you this, that the Schellenbergs intend, showing a complete build out of all 284 units by year 7, and showing the ability to retire the RHID by year 5. So this is your summary slide, kind of telling the whole story in one shot. And before I close, I do want to acknowledge our Community Development Director, Les Mangus, and our city engineer, Kevin Graham, who were absolutely instrumental in being able to bring this project to you tonight. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to stand for them.
I just have a statement. Without this RHIDs, just so the public knows, this would not happen. We lost a 600 home development because we could not get water to this specific site. So I want to echo what Jolene said about Les Mangus and Kevin Graham and Jolene herself. Man, this is a monumental, to say the least, for our city and the growth. So, man, I'm just floored that you pulled it off. Thank you very much.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Jolene, I know we've talked about this before in workshops and so forth, but for those people that are watching and those in the audience, this is not a tax abatement, correct?
It is a foregoing of the taxes. And I'll let Kendra step in and talk over me if I say it wrong. But in a sense, a tax abatement is also a foregoing of taxes.
It's more of a diversion of taxes. So the taxes are used to be able to, the development, like the water mains, and to make the land useful. And so instead of the city getting the direct taxes for 5 years, which right now there's no taxes on this land, right? There's no property. You're giving the opportunity to build these homes that will bring in taxes, but you're foregoing those taxes when it's been developed, if that makes more sense.
And one other question, this is not costing the residents of Andover any money out of their pockets. It's not raising any expenses for them, and they are not paying for the development, correct?
That is correct. So when somebody comes in and buys one of these homes that will be built, instead of their property taxes going to the taxing jurisdictions, instead we get that money from the county and we use it to pay those infrastructure costs. So no additional taxes for our existing taxpayers.
Thank you.
Mayor, if I may, I would draw a link to your TIF that we talked about earlier tonight. So a lot of that same concept, right? The taxes are still paid, but instead of going to those jurisdictions that they typically would, which is why the school district and the county had an option to
Say no.
object or say that they didn't want to participate, which they did not. But that is why they get a say in that matter. So instead of those funds going to them over these periods of time, they'll go to the fund to retire the debt.
Anyone else?
Mr. Mayor, I'll just clarify too. I appreciated as I looked at the financial structuring of this RHID proposal that the city's costs are reimbursed first and then the developers after that. As well as the amount of money that we are talking about foregoing in for this RHID district is relatively percentage-wise conservative as a percentage of the whole project. So I've described it as dipping our toe in the water of RHID to see how this goes. And based on what you presented for the projections, I feel comfortable that we'll be paying off in that 5, 7, 8 year range, and who knows what will come next.
Anyone else?
I do have one more question that I have not asked before, so I'm sorry to put you on the spot. You mentioned these other Oakmont, and I don't remember the other name of the Bluestem in Goddard and Mays. Have those cities also participated or utilized in RHID for those communities, or are we unique in that aspect?
We are unique in that aspect. Currently, Sedgwick County has not allowed an RHID to be established in that county.
Thank you. I'm also going to assume that they don't have the same infrastructure barriers in those properties that this particular one
That's
did.
correct. And then there's also the factor of, like in Oakmont, we're able to work with Evergy, which is a huge difference.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anyone else? Just in case anybody's keeping score out there, I just want to let everybody know how great our staff is again. We're the first TIF district in Butler County. We have CID district, and now we do the RHID. And so the forward thinking that our staff does is amazing. And our city would still be, as one of my friends used to say, Andover's just a road. And it's no longer that. We have a skyline. And so it's just because of the work of staff, and us council members are along for the ride. Thank you very much. At this time, I will open the public hearing and for any and all to come speak. Don't everybody come at once. All right. Public hearing is closed. 9-2. RHID Pinner South Ordinance, and Jolene, there she went again. I was going to talk to us about that.
I am. I changed my seat.
Can you sit still for just 1 minute?
Mayor and council, this ordinance establishes the reinvestment housing incentive district for the 73-acre property known as Penner South. On April 14th, 2026, you approved a resolution of intent to consider establishing this district. And then on May 1st, the city did receive written approval from the State Secretary of Commerce to establish an RHID. On May 12th, the date and time of this public hearing was set, and tonight you did conduct that public hearing. Since this ordinance or the establishment of this district will affect all taxing jurisdictions, both the school district and the county have the opportunity to file an objection and to nullify the creation of the RHID by July 30th. As a result, we did give presentations in May to both the county commissioners and the school board members, and no objections were expressed at that time.
Any questions?
I have one real fast, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, let her rip.
After Jolene, and I guess I probably should have asked this at the workshop, but I just came to me. After all these units are finished and we paid off, this RHID, do we have any guesstimates of how much property tax will be coming back, coming back to the city?
Yes, that's really an excellent question. So the financial analysis that our attorneys did, I can't take credit, but the estimated full build-out valuation of the added housing units is over $70 million.
Okay. So that's $70 million extra in property tax that's coming back to the city.
No, that's in
No.
the valuation.
Valuation. Okay, then it depends on the mill levy. Okay, perfect. Okay. So based on today's mill levy, how much would that be? Where's Matt at?
You're going to make me do that quick math. I might need to get back with you on
Okay,
that.
I was just curious. I mean, how much value? I mean, we know it's adding $70 million in valuations to the city, but as a citizen, what's that really mean to me? You know, what's that mean to us, to our budget? So, but that's a lot of new people to Andover. That's a lot of great families coming into our wonderful school district. It's people shopping here. It's people spending money here. It's
Sales
people-
tax revenue.
Sales tax. It's people coming in and going to the Y and going to the 13th Street Park. And, you know, so it's just a lot of people coming into Andover. So that's all I got. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move that we approve the development agreement with Meadow Pass LLC.
Just a quick point of order. This item, that's the next item.
Oh, my
This
bad.
item is the ordinance.
My bad. Mr. Mayor, I remove that motion, please. I move to adopt the ordinance establishing a reinvestment housing incentive district for the Pinner Addition and Development Plan.
Second.
My apologies.
Good job. Any further discussion or questions? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. 9-3, RHID Penner South Development Agreement. And Jolene, you have anything you want to add to the?
Yes, I do. The attached development agreement before you tonight, it just formalizes those financial and construction obligations that we kind of listed out earlier in the presentation. The city will install the water and sewer mains, and the developer will oversee the electrical installation. Both the city and the developer are then eligible for those reimbursements, and this agreement sets forth the terms by which that will happen. And so the city will retain 5% of the RHID revenues each month as an administrative fee to administer the distribution. The agreement does establish a priority for how these disbursements will fall. As Tim Brunson noted, the city administrative fee is paid first, followed by the bond debt service for the water and sewer mains, and then the developer reimbursements for those eligible electrical infrastructure improvements. Those reimbursements are subject to a formal request process. So the developer must submit a certificate of project costs with supporting invoices and payment documentation. And so before any reimbursement is approved, the developer also must obtain final acceptance of the completed work by our city engineer. This agreement does have a term of 25 years from the effective date of the RHID ordinance, or until all eligible costs have been fully reimbursed, whichever is earlier. I do want to also note that the feasibility analysis in your packet provided by our city attorney notes a total proposed RHID participation of $2.88 million against $86 million in total estimated construction costs.
All right, any questions? Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, sir.
I move we approve the development agreement with Meadow Pass LLC.
Second.
Any further questions or discussion? All in favor say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0. So gentlemen, I see all this great developing you do, and you're building all these fine homes down on the north end of Andover. The mayor of Andover needs a grocery store on the north end of Andover, very bad. So any way you could help me with that, I'd be much obliged to help you to accomplish it. Because I lose all the sales tax revenue, and now I'm going to lose a whole bunch more because the fine homes you're going to build on the north end of town. So thank you for doing business with us, but appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But I'm serious about the grocery store.
Ain't joking.
I'm gonna need your name and address and emails, stuff like that. All right, thank you. Where are we at? Members items. You probably noticed I'm not the normal mayor for average city, right? All right, member items, and we'll start with let's start with dang, I just, Colin.
G.
We are, for many people who are watching, we've just been finishing up budgeting for the city for the next year. And I can say for the first time going through this, it is a process. It takes everybody to run a city. And by everybody, I mean everybody and then some. I do appreciate everybody's help and helping me understand everything. And that is pretty much what I have.
My turn. I will second what Colin says. A lot of folks, I remember my first budgeting season, of course, it was during COVID, so we all met via Zoom and all the fun stuff. But you know, whoever's listening and the few people still out in the audience, budgeting takes a lot. You know, for an average citizen, I just assumed, oh, they did what they did last year and they moved on. So I agree with Colin. The staff really, you know, excuse my language, but they kick ass. So I will tell everybody, please have a safe 4th of July that's coming up Saturday. Make sure if you drink at your party on Saturday, if you're going to a party, don't drive. Also, Andy doesn't want to see missing fingers and toes and stuff, so be careful with your fireworks. And of course, Ben doesn't want to see Garland pull anybody over for DUI. So let me see, working this weekend? Yes. Okay, all right. Might as well give him my answer. Okay. So, but no, everybody stay safe. It is our country's 250th birthday. No matter what side of the political spectrum we're on, this is amazing. I mean, we live in a wonderful country where we're able to buy, you know, and do kind of anything we want to do. So it's fantastic. So everybody stay safe. Keep your fingers and toes and eyes and hair. Well, except for him, but hair for everybody else.
All right, I appreciate that.
Facial hair.
Good, Jody.
I just want to say thank you, first of all, to city staff. I know how much you guys have done and the different things we talked about tonight. And I think that so many times that work gets overlooked. And so I just want to say thank you to all of you guys. And then we, of course, finished up budget, and I know what that's like for every one of the departments. So I just appreciate being able to walk alongside the people that are in this room or filling in for others that normally sit in this room. We're very, very fortunate. And I don't know that everybody understands how lucky we are to have the amazing emergency services and the amazing staff and the amazing streets. So please just remember these city people and how hard that they work. Piggybacking on the 4th of July, please, 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 if you're going to shoot fireworks, will you please dispose of your things very carefully? Let's not put them in your garage. Let's probably put them out, like, I would say by the curb. And maybe you have like a bucket that you could put water in. And then you could put all of your stuff in there. And
Massive bucket, Jody.
well, I'll get you one. I'll get you a whole dumpster full of water for it. But I know some neighboring cities have already had some bad situations happening in neighboring cities. So please, everybody, just be aware and everybody stay safe. Again, piggybacking on that, be careful with your drinking and driving, and be careful with your fireworks.
Agreed to all those things. I will add one more firework thing. Please respect the times that you're supposed to be discharging said fireworks, because some people have work, some people don't tolerate loud noises. Dogs don't love late night fireworks either. So
Veterans.
And the veterans suffer from PTSD or a number of things. So just be respectful of your neighbors and respect those times. If you don't know what those times are, check out the website, check out social media. We have some great stuff out there about that as well. That's for me.
And I just echo what everybody else has said. I won't take the time to repeat it.
Show it.
I wasn't first this time. Yeah, so.
All sucks going live.
It does. It does. But I do thank Rick, Daniel. They got me through my first budgeting season, so I appreciate that. They even helped me understand it. So that's a huge accomplishment. So.
So I was sitting here about 3 weeks ago, three meetings ago, and it was running through my mind, I would be a terrible council member because the stuff y'all do, I can't do, you know. I can't add and subtract. I'm not real good at a lot of that stuff. So I do this all right, but I couldn't do that. So I appreciate what y'all do, and thank you very much. And I'm serious. It just wouldn't be my thing. It's just not me. So I couldn't do what you do. I'm just honest with you. So thank you. And that's it. Better stop before I start crying.
Crying about math.
Can I get a motion?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
I move to adjourn.
I'll second.
Any further questions or discussion? I did think of some more stuff I'd like to say now. All in favor, say yes.
Yep.
All
Yes.
opposed, no. Motion carries 5-0.
I was like,